So lads, I don't know exactly what the Chicago Sky are doing, but this just seems crazy.
Did you hear the news from Chicago? The Sky is letting go of Chennedy Carter, last season's top performer. Yes, the same Carter who dominated just days ago. You're probably wondering, why would they do that? This isn't just a risky move. It's one that could shake up the entire WNBA. And guess what? Teams are already lining up to grab her. This decision changes everything.
She's worth the risk. But first of all, why the Chicago Sky supposedly are not looking for Chennedy Carter? It's just, or supposedly not looking to keep Chennedy Carter. Like, I don't know why. Like, I think she's worth the risk for Chicago.
What's happening in Chicago? The Sky is making a shocking move. Chennedy Carter, last season's standout star, is about to walk away. Yes, the same Carter who was on fire all season. You're probably wondering, are they serious? This decision has everyone scratching their heads.
Chennedy Carter has come off her best season in the WNBA, where no ifs, ands, or buts about it, she should have been an all-star. That's all I'm gonna say. She was absolutely robbed of an all-star.
We're talking about a player who should have been an all-star, Chennedy Carter. Not only did she shine in the WNBA, but she's been dominating overseas in China, even earning a sportsmanship award. Talk about silencing the doubters. So why move on from a player like that? Here's where it gets interesting. The Sky's GM is out looking for length and shooting on the wing.
Because the GM has talked about wanting length, the GM has talked about wanting shooting for their wings. And what is Chennedy Carter not? Length.
That's right. Carter isn't what they're looking for. She's a dynamic guard, a scoring machine, not the length and shooting they want. It's like trading a golden orange tree for apples and candy. To make it wilder, Carter herself dropped a hint with a tweet. Can't wait to see where I end up. She deleted it quicker than one of her killer crossovers.
Also, look at her last tweet. Well, it was deleted, but Chennedy Carter tweeted this. Oh, believe I'm going to fill it up next season. Can't wait to see where I end up. Thank God for this truthful time.
You don't need to be a detective to see what's happening. It's like Carter already has one foot out the door. This could go down as one of the biggest mistakes in Chicago's franchise history. Are they clearing space for someone else? Or is there more to this story? One thing's certain, if Carter leaves, some other team is about to get very, very lucky.
Chennedy Carter, again, she just dropped 40 points again yesterday. She is one of the most dynamic guards in the entire WNBA.
Think about it. Players who can drop 40 like it's nothing don't just hit the market every day. Teams around the league must be drooling at the chance to grab Carter. Imagine her teaming up with Aja Wilson and the Aces, or giving Indiana the spark they desperately need. The possibilities are endless, all because Chicago is making a move that has everyone scratching their heads. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, Chennedy Carter's reputation. Is she really the risk some make her out to be, or has she turned a new leaf? Let's break it down. And hey, don't go comparing her to Caitlin Clark. They're on different paths entirely.
Obviously, she had the situation where she cheap shot at Caitlin Clark. But after that, Chennedy Carter didn't really have that many. Actually, she cheap shot at Marina Mabrey too. But she's having her best. She's coming off her best WNBA season. She's had her best offseason.
Think about it. Players who can drop 40 like it's nothing don't just hit the market every day. Teams around the league must be drooling at the chance to grab Carter. Imagine her teaming up with Aja Wilson and the Aces, or giving Indiana the spark they desperately need. The possibilities are endless, all because Chicago is making a move that has everyone scratching their heads. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, Chennedy Carter's reputation. Is she really the risk some make her out to be, or has she turned a new leaf? Let's break it down. And hey, don't go comparing her to Caitlin Clark. They're on different paths entirely.
An off-season which she literally won a sportsmanship award in China. And trust me, they don't just give these type of awards to people for the sake. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, you don't get one of these awards just for the sake of it if you are in China.
Yeah, Carter's definitely had her fair share of drama. She's stirred the pot before, not just with Clark. Marina might have her own stories to tell too. She's been involved in some on-court incidents that left fans scratching their heads. But here's where it gets interesting. The same player who stirred up controversy in the past went on to win a sportsmanship award in China. It's almost like a complete 180. proving she's more than just the headlines.
And obviously, if she could stop getting in her own way, Chennedy Carter would be is one of the top tier players in the W.
Exactly. The same Carter who once had a reputation for a short fuse is now being recognized for her improved demeanor. It's like she turned a new page. And it's not just about how she carries herself off the court. Carter's been displaying more control on the court too. She's avoiding conflicts, keeping her head cool when the intensity rises, and showing maturity in situations that would have triggered her before.
Doing the write-up for her award, how blunt they are in China. They basically said there was a bunch of situations where if this was last year, she would have flipped out or she would have started a fight. But you know what? She actually...
It's like she finally realized her talent is too valuable to waste on petty drama. Now, you might be asking, has she really changed? Well, let me tell you, her work ethic speaks for itself. Carter is giving 110% every time she steps on the court. She's not just coasting on her natural abilities anymore. She's putting in the work to be truly great. You can see it in her play, and that's the real testament to her growth.
She's always going to be a little bit crazy, but it can be contained. She likes playing with Angel Reese. I don't know why Chicago aren't doing this, especially with how she's been in the All.
Here's the thing. Carter still doesn't have a filter. When she's got something to say, she says it. And that's exactly what happened recently. She dropped a bombshell on social media, hinting she might be leaving the Sky. She tweeted, "Can't wait to see where I end up." And of course, it was deleted quickly. But everyone saw it as classic Carter. Now, we have to ask, is her outspoken nature still a problem? Or is it just part of the package when you're top-tier talent?
The top tier players in the W. But I do find it tough to see why a team wouldn't take a chance on Chennedy Carter. Because trust me, even if Chennedy Carter's still a headache, she's less of a headache than she was 3 years ago. There's no question about that. She is less of a headache. She gives 110% every single time she sets foot on the floor.
The Chicago Bulls GM has been talking about wanting players with length and shooting. Definitely not Carter's strength. So the big question is, are they really ready to let go of a player who can dominate the game like she can? Sure, she speaks her mind, and that's likely why she's on her way out of Chicago. But this is just the beginning of what could be a wild ride. Get ready, because this move could turn the entire WNBA upside down. We're talking about a player who can light up the scoreboard like it's the 4th of July, potentially up for grabs.
If the Fever don't lose Kelsey Mitchell, don't even look at Chennedy Carter. And I don't know, Chennedy Carter is one of the types of players that I think will literally play anyone. I don't think there's any, if she's available, I don't think there's going to be any issue playing with anyone from her perspective.
It's like someone just dropped a match into a pool of gasoline. Boom. Now, what's next? You might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal here? Well, here's where it gets interesting. The Las Vegas Aces are eyeing Carter like she's the missing puzzle piece. Imagine her teaming up with their stacked roster. If they lose Kelsey Plum, Carter could be exactly what they need to become an unstoppable force. But wait, could Indiana be in the mix too? Things are getting real wild, real fast.
I think she's worth the risk. I genuinely do. There is absolutely no way that a potential, at her best, top 7 player in the WNBA, who you can probably get in the cheap, is not worth the risk.
If the Aces lose Chelsea Mitchell, they'll need someone to step up and take control of the game. And guess who fits that bill perfectly? Yet, Chennedy Carter. But don't forget about the Seattle Storm either. They're looking to make some noise, and adding Carter to their roster could be the spark that lights up their championship run. This move could reshape the entire league.
Get her at her best, and she is one of the best players in the entire WNBA.
Now here's where things get really juicy. Some experts aren't talking about just any player. They believe Carter has the potential to be a top 5 player in the entire WNBA. Yeah, you heard that right, top 5. But here's the catch. It all comes down to finding the right system and the right coach to unlock her full potential. With the right fit, she could elevate her game to a whole new level.
And this is what they've said. If an offer is not extended, the player becomes unrestricted free agent. Pagliocca has 3 restricted free agents he could send qualifying offers to. Guards Dana Evans and Chennedy Carter, and forward Michaela Onyeabor.
Now we've got a situation where teams are likely scrambling to make their pitch. It's a high-stakes game, and Carter's the royal flush. Everyone's trying to land her, and this isn't just about where she ends up. It's about how this move could reshape the entire league. Imagine if she joins a team already one superstar away from dominating. We could be witnessing the birth of the next WNBA dynasty. And don't forget, Carter isn't just a free agent, she's unrestricted, meaning any team can make a play for her.
It says here, expect Pagliuca to extend these offers to Evans and Onyewere, while Carter will be a free agent to test the market as an free to test the market as unrestricted free agent. The Sky's unrestricted free agents, Diamond Shields, Izzy Harrison, Bree Turner, all expected to sign elsewhere.
If another team offers Carter more money than Chicago, the Sky will have to match it to keep her. It's like a game of chicken with millions at stake. History shows that adding a player of Carter's caliber can transform a team. Just look at other scoring guards who've pushed their teams deep into the playoffs. Now, let's talk about the Chicago Sky. You might think they're doing everything right, but here's the truth.
Or maybe there's, if they want to go for it this year, Carter and 10 for Jewel Lloyd. Like, that would be an even enough trade if they still want to make that third pick.
You might be wondering what's going on in Chicago right now. Well, rumors are flying faster than a Carter crossover. Some are saying the Sky could be missing out on another superstar. Could it be a jewel that's slipping through their fingers? The drama's just getting started.